Today, as you know, we will hear program presentations in the subject of electrical engineering. There are 3 presentations. Here are the speakers. I'll be introducing all of them individually. We also have additional team members from universities who will be also taking your questions in Q&A, also doing presentations, and you will have the whole support here available. I also want to mention about the organizer of today's session, which is 𝘱𝘕𝘔 University, a database where you can find study programs offered in Germany, and these are study programs not only in English but also in German. There are also combination of languages today. A lot of questions came in about German and French programs, so you can always filter according to your desired language requirements and other things. You can always combine filters and even sort the programs according to different criteria, for example, application deadline or location or popularity and so on. So also, please check out the articles in case you have broader questions about scholarship. I mentioned this in all webinars because these are the frequently asked questions, scholarships and visa issues. We have lots of articles in this regard, and they are even translated. They are country specific, and they are very detailed. The details are this is really in detail because we even have articles about visa processing time in a certain country. So we know this is a pain point, and we try to provide the information through these articles. Check out our webinars. Of course, you're attending one of them right now, but in case you don't know, we also have general webinars where the only 𝘱𝘕𝘔 University team member is presenting. Usually it's me or Oliva or Camila, and we cover topics as scholarship, uni-assist, studying in Germany, opportunity card or Chancen card, and blocked account, and of course visa as a whole, like offered by Oliva. The webinars are available on our webinar page, and you can register for multiple in case you want to attend different webinars. This is our team. We are based in Hamburg, Germany. We are counseling in different languages. And this counseling is not one-to-one counseling, but webinars, articles, and like by webinars, I mean they are like almost every day. So you can also take them as one-to-one counseling because usually I, in general webinars, answer most of the questions. For example, yesterday I answered 59. So I mean, it can be kind of one-to-one counseling, but we are not applying on your behalf to a study program. And actually, it's advisable to prepare the application and apply yourself, because then you are well prepared also for your visa interview. Here you can see also the founders of 𝘱𝘕𝘔 University. Now, a bit more about our study finder and how you can find programs. For example, if you browse programs in electrical engineering, you see 194 results. And then obviously you first narrow down it into bachelor and master's, but still the research results are quite many. Therefore, you need to apply different filters, and this can be in terms of language, this can be in terms of tuition or admission restriction, or you can click on see all filters and apply about work experience or specific English language requirement score or some other things. And then you can always sort programs according to different fields. So we hope this way you can have a shortlisted version of all of your future programs. You can always favor them and see all the information, even videos and course pages and everything you need to have. You are welcome to also check our subject pages, which provide description of the subject, about tuition fees, application, admission requirements, language requirements, but please always take into account that these are general, there's a general information. All programs have their own application and admission requirements, and especially deadlines. Please pay attention on when to apply, and how to apply. Frequently asked question is, can I apply via uni-assist? If it's defined by a program like this, then yes. If not, then no. Even if you really want to apply via uni-assist, if the program has direct application, you cannot apply via uni-assist. And it's really important to keep in mind. The best advice is to always check the study program carefully to understand what's the content, what are the courses, and apply accordingly, and not be guided only by fees, rankings, names, and so on. Really briefly about the universities in Germany, you will meet or you will come across universities and universities of applied sciences. You can keep in mind that usually programs offered by universities are research and theory oriented, and universities of applied sciences usually have application and practice oriented programs. Of course, there are always exceptions. This is also true for this. So therefore, again, going back to my previous slide, check the program profile carefully. And what I also want to mention is that for all programs, you need to specifically check the first thing is qualification requirements. You need to make sure that you meet the qualification requirements and only then start motivation letter or any additional application document preparation. Because in case the program has a set GPA or a requirement that there should be necessarily post-graduation work experience and you don't have it, then you do not meet the qualification requirements. And this is already, then you cannot really apply. I mean, you can apply, but most probably you will not be accepted. So this is really important, and you will always see it for all programs, qualification requirements, and only after this you see application documents, which will again include bachelor's degree or some other program, some other documents that will be listed there. Okay. Now I'd like to give the mic to Kiel University, Professor Dr. Gerhard Schmidt, who will be talking about or presenting Master's Electrical Information Engineering.
Welcome, or whatever, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, I don't know where you are. So for the next 15 minutes, Felix and myself, we will present something about Kiel University, and we had actually 3 topics. The last one is actually this question stuff, but I think we do this at the very end, if I understood you correctly, Nino. So the first 2 parts is actually that I guess that at least those who are not from Germany don't know Kiel, or not in detail. So we have some information about the city and then about the university and then the institute. This means the electrical engineering department. And the second part is then about studying, so about the program over here. And I hope that this answers most of your questions that you have about the study program. So let's start with Kiel. And yesterday I made a recording with Google Earth that those of you who are not familiar where Kiel is. So here you see Europe, and then we zoom in. Then we zoom to the northern part of Germany. So some of you might know Hamburg that we have just passed, and then here's Kiel. And after a few seconds, then we will also zoom in into the part where the Faculty of Engineering is located. This is not at the main campus, but a bit aside of it. So that's actually where we are. So Kiel is in the north of Germany. It's about 100 kilometers or roughly 1 hour of train or car drive from Hamburg away. And that's maybe something that you know. So this is a picture that you have actually shown also. I guess we made the same screenshot. So Kiel is in the north. Just a few things about the city. It has approximately 200,000 inhabitants. So depending on where you're from, a rather small city. So, but on the other hand, I would say large enough that you have everything which is relevant. What I think is also a positive thing on Kiel is that it's not really expensive. So compared, for example, to Hamburg, where when you want to have a flat, it's much more complicated and so on. On the other hand, if some city is expensive, then it has usually a reason. So there's also good things and bad things about Kiel. So that's Kiel, actually. Then we come to Kiel University. The age of our university is about 350 years. So it was founded in 1665. We have, depends a bit, 30,000 students. It's a full university, which means you can study virtually every subject, but of course also electrical engineering. That we are a full university means that the individual parts are small. That's bad on the one hand. On the other hand, if it's small, then people have learned how to cooperate with each other. And for example, when we have medical topics, it's very easy for us to get ethics clearing and so on. So this is an advantage of a smaller university. The smaller amount of possibilities to choose is maybe a drawback. Okay, among these 27,000 students, 10% are in the Faculty of Engineering. And this means Faculty of Engineering means material science, computer science, and electrical engineering. So, and about 1/3 is then coming to electrical engineering. The whole university has about 400 professors, and in our department are about 10 to 15 plus extra people that give lectures, labs, and so on from industry and other institutions. And sometimes the name Christian Albrechts Universität zu Kiel, which is the German wording for Kiel University, is used. And this Christian is nothing that we are a religious university or something like this. It's more the name of the guy. So actually the Duke of this county that has started or said that in 1665 that it would be good if the county would have a university, and some monks then started some kind of science a couple of years ago. And that's a picture of him. I guess you see the mouse as well here. So this is from the Art Museum in Kiel. By the way, what I have forgotten here is Kiel is actually a sailing city. So if you are happy about water sports, then it's the place to be. We don't have really mountains or something like this, then go to Stuttgart or Augsburg or whatever. So that's the thing. So when you look at Kiel, it's in my perspective. I'm not born in Kiel, so and the center of Kiel is not the nicest place, but it's okay. And I have depicted here the Kiel Castle. So that's what you see here. And I guess when you have something, when you think about a castle like the ones that you have in the south, then and you see this picture, then hey, what the hell is this? So that's not the best thing. And this is a typical picture in Kiel. Actually, here behind these cranes is the Faculty of Engineering. So you see a lot of water inside. But the good thing in Kiel is actually something like this. So when we give seminars, or here's a science slam, so you see me with a little lecture or a seminar. This is myself here, this one. So we do this sometimes at the beaches, and this is not far away. And this is the cool places actually in Kiel. So good and bad places at the same time, as usual in life, right? Okay, then institute. So these gentlemen and ladies, actually now we have two people, two ladies here, they teach you as the core team. And then all, I would say all important topics in electrical engineering are covered by this core team. And then we have extra people from industry or from Fraunhofer institutions that give extra stuff. This is compared to the larger universities, a smaller team. So some other large universities like Aachen or Stuttgart or who else, they have 40 people. We are just 12 or 15 people. So it's a bit smaller, but also a good team in that perspective. And this is a nice picture because we do a lot with our students together. This is what in German is called Fachschaft. So this is a group of students that try to improve the situation for students in the sense of if you have an exam, then they collect the questions for it, but also if we are in meetings, how to improve the situation, then we actually work together with these students. And this makes both of us really happy. So the interaction with the people that we educate is quite good. Okay, so Fachschaft, that's it. That's for the city, for the university, for the institute. And now some words about the study program. And I do this also quite short. So we see this in such a way that we say that the studying at the university is actually something where you learn scientific methodology, and that you learn how to learn independently and how to work independently. So we try to help you to learn in that sense. The program is not easy. So the people say that the average working load in a normal week is about 40 hours per week, and maybe a bit more during the exam preparation periods. And you have the full freedom when you study over here. We just say you need to do a certain amount of seminars, of labs, of lectures. Actually, lectures are grouped into core and in-depth modules, but you select on your own freely whether you want to dig into signal processing and machine learning. This would be my case. Or if you say, I would like to focus on power electronics or medical stuff, that's your decision. As just this set of rules, enough credit points out of the different groups. But what you study is actually your own stuff. Okay, a study program is a 3-term program, so 3 semesters, 1.5 years. The first 2 terms, the first 2 semesters are actually for lectures, labs, and seminars, and the last one is then for the master thesis, so 6 months master thesis. You can start this in summer or in winter, both is possible actually. Yeah, that's it for the program. Then I think this is roughly the same at all German universities. The lecture times is something between 14 weeks, 15 weeks, and you have this 2 times. And in between, you have a lecture free time, a shorter one in spring and a longer one in summer. And for example, most of our exams are oral exams. So if you do lectures with me, for example, all my master's lectures have oral exams, and I offer them from the beginning of the lecture free time until the end. So you can book slots. And for example, if you want to go home for a 2-week stay with your family and so on, you can actually organize that. So because you can shift not all of the exams, but most of them. Yeah, and each module has one exam at the end, and the module lasts half a year, so 1 term. And sometimes here in the US, in the university, the exams are offered 2 times per term. But over here we do it just once, but every term. So if you don't pass in the summer, you can repeat it in the winter and so on. Yeah, then how to apply. Enrollment is possible if you are outside the European Union, then you have to do it via UniAssist. So Nino actually mentioned it already. And for example, when you want to start in 26, then the submission is open from the 1st of September to the beginning of October. And then over there, you must apply. If you come from within the EU, European Union, then you can write an email to this address over here. And I guess you find it also on our websites and so on. And you can do this at every time. However, if you want to start here in October, so for the winter term, then you must do it before end of August. So this is our cutting time for the next one. And we have cutting times every half a year. And actually, Felix will read your applications and myself afterwards as well. So we are the people in charge here. The required documents is, of course, that you need a your bachelor's degree, and or maybe a transcript of the records plus a module catalog, because we check what you have done there, and if everything is okay, then perfect, that's it. If something is missing, we will tell you you have to repeat a certain subject, and you just must clear it, which means you have to pass the exam, but it doesn't matter whether you pass with an excellent mark or a bad one. It's just that you have to understand the contents and show this in the sense that you pass the exam. It's not in your certificate at the end. It's just you must pass it before you can start a master thesis. And you need a B2 English certificate. And if you come from outside the European higher education area, you must also have a GRE test score in quantitative reasoning with 64% or better, actually. Yeah, and that's it for studying.
And we have Professor Dr. Peter Kopystynski, who will be talking about Master Engineering, Electrical Engineering program, the application deadlines, location, again, Google screenshot, and some quick facts on screen. And Professor has much more to share.
I'm talking about a Master of Engineering, Electrical Engineering at the Technical University of Applied Sciences. I'm the student advisor and chairman of the exam board of this program of study. So it's my job to inform you about it. So first of all, again, just like Kiel, the question is, where are we located? And so we are located in the city of Augsburg, 300,000 inhabitants. You see it here on a map of Europe. Okay, it's in the south of Germany, in the state of Bavaria. That's the orange area here, and it's very close to Munich. The distance is about 60 kilometers and northwest of Munich. So the train ride or the car ride is about 30 to 45 minutes. And we are, as you see, we are rather close to Switzerland and Austria. And if you want to go to Italy, it's not far either. So the city of Augsburg, very old, founded by the Romans 2,000 years ago, has been a very important trade and finance center in the 15th, 16th century. So at that time, the richest man who ever lived on Earth, Jacob Fugger, lived here, far richer than Elon Musk is today, if you convert the money in today's money. And to show off the wealth, you see this is the town hall that was built at that time. It's really big. Today, it's a high-tech industry region. 2 examples here. In the middle, you see a fuselage of an aircraft being assembled at the Premium Aerotech plant here in Augsburg. which is a supplier to Airbus. So if you have ever flown an Airbus plane, you've probably part of it was made here in Augsburg. And on the right side, you see KUKA robot. KUKA is a leading robot manufacturer. And so if you have ever visited a car factory, probably such as the one of BMW in Munich, you'll see a lot of these KUKA robots working there. Now, some data about our university. A brief history. Our history goes back to 1710, so more than 300 years, when the Municipal Academy of Arts was founded here in Augsburg. And then later in the 19th and 20th century, there has been a number of mergers with other higher educational institutions and also renamings. And one of these renamings was in 1870. We became the Royal Industry School. And at that time, our most famous student was studying here for a couple of years, Rudolf Diesel, the inventor of the diesel engine, which is today powering the ships on the world's oceans and the trucks on the world's roads. Then in 1971, we became a University of Applied Sciences. That is, we were taken over by the federal state of Bavaria, which is funding us. And the Bavarian Ministry of Science is our supervision agency. Then we have 7,100 students from 83 nations here. So we are not too large, but not really small either. And we have 23 bachelor and 22 master programs here. We do not have the full range of all kinds of faculties here. We are specialized in engineering. So we have the classical engineering faculties here, electrical, mechanical, and civil engineering. We have computer science, a business faculty, a design faculty that in fact traces its origins back to 1710. And a faculty of liberal arts and sciences. Okay, here on the right side, that's one of our buildings on the campus. And if you wonder what this is in here, it's a pig, a flying pig with wings descending for landing in the blossom of a flower. So it's a piece of art here on our campus, which is kind of funny. Now, the electrical engineering faculty, we have 700 students, 5 bachelor programs and 4 master programs. Our staff is 23 professors, actually 4 of which are women. So the number of women among the professors is larger than among the students. We have 13 associate lecturers that are experts from industry doing part-time lecturing here in our faculty, and 36 scientific and support staff members. We have 14 laboratories, and that brings us to the building here, the red building on the right side here in this picture. That's the electrical engineering building. Most of our laboratories are located in there. And not all of them. For example, the high voltage laboratory, that's the building here on the left side. It's actually not only part of it can be seen here. It wouldn't fit into the other building because high voltage equipment is fairly large. And we also, of course, have lecture halls and offices elsewhere and in other adjacent buildings on campus. We have 3 research institutes, 2 technology transfer centers to help local industry introduce modern technology here. And what I should also mention is that we have 35 years of experience in a double degree program that we have been operating all the time with a university in the United Kingdom, in Northern Ireland. So we have 35 years of experience teaching a program in English language here to students from abroad who come here for a part of their studies. Now, an overview of our program. So the total duration is 3 semesters, and that in the European credit transfer system, that's 90 ECTS credit points. And the maximum duration is 5 semesters, but that doesn't mean that you will be kicked out after 5 semesters. It's just that after 5 semesters, some kind of trouble will start, so that in all modules that you have not completed yet, automatic failure will be entered, but of course you have several attempts for the exam in every module. Okay, so you can study more than 5 semesters, but so the nominal time is 3, and it shouldn't be more than 5. It's a full-time study program with 30 ECTS credit points per semester, and that amounts to about a 40-hour work week. The same as we've heard from Kiel. So studying here is a full-time job, and you shouldn't consider studying only part-time and working about half your time here. This will certainly not work. One of these 3 semesters is dedicated to a final project about which you will then write up a thesis that you will submit. And this final project can be done either internally in the laboratories of the faculty or in industry. Actually, most of our students do it in industry because, first of all, internally we cannot pay students for their projects, but industry pays. And also it's a good opportunity to get acquainted with a company that might later hire a graduate. The language of instruction is completely English in summer. In winter, it's English, and some modules are also in German language, but there are enough modules so that you can study the whole program in English. But for the German students in the program, we also have some German modules so that they do not have to do everything in English. And the thesis, of course, can be written in English or German. Okay. The start of the semester is March 15th, and in spring and autumn, it's October 1st. So you can start in the summer semester or in the winter semester. And here is an overview of the academic year. The summer semester begins in the middle of March. Teaching goes on until the end of June. And then we have a 4-week period in July with exams. And the B here is a break around Easter. It's about a 1-week break in there. And then we have 2 months of August and September where there is a break. So there is really nothing for you to do here at the university. And teaching resumes in the winter semester on the 1st of October. It goes on until the 3rd week of December. And then we have a break for 2 weeks, the last week of December and the 1st week of January. There's a little teaching being resumed in January. And then again, we have a 4-week exam period until the middle of February. And then we have a 4-week break here from the middle of February to the middle of March. Okay, so that's the academic year as it runs here. Our admission requirements: you need to have a bachelor in either electrical, mechatronic, or computer engineering to enter this electrical engineering program. You need to have an equivalent of 210 ECTS credit points, which would amount to 7 semesters of the B.Eng program that you have completed. If you have a B.Eng program, completed a B.Eng program of less than 7 semesters, well, it must be at least 6 semesters, which would amount to 180 ECTS credit points. But you must make up for the missing credit, because in total you need 300 ECTS credit points for a master's degree. So therefore, in this case, you have to complete additional studies of 30 ECTS credit points during the first year of your enrollment in the M.Eng here, and we will tell you which modules you have to take. Of course, this means that the total duration of your studies will probably then extend to 4 semesters and maybe a little more, because after all, you have to catch up on something. We need a preliminary review documentation VPD from UniAssist for your admission. Your average grade as converted by UniAssist has to be less than 2.7 in the German scale. Okay, so in Bavaria, the average is calculated with 2 decimal digits, and when the final certificate is issued, the last one is cut off. So 2.6 that's actually what we would have in the certificate here from our own students, which could mean 2.60 or 2.69. And this is why we require the mark to be less, or the grade to be less than 2.7. You need an English language test certificate of level B2 and certification of English as the B.Eng instruction language that you had. It would not be sufficient. I'm saying this because I get inquiries about that, if that would not also be sufficient, but it is not. Then we need a CV from you and a letter of motivation, and you can apply, of course, online, and there is an online application portal. For full information on required application documents, here is the link. You will find it on our website. Okay, so there is a detailed information, a PDF file with detailed information on what all the required application documents are. The general program schedule is every semester having 30 credit points. The summer semester has a theoretical part of 20 credit points and the project part of 10 credit points. The winter semester, a theoretical part of 15 credit points and a non-technical part. So these are electives with non-technical content of 10 credit points. And again, the project part, which in this case is 5 credit points. And then the final semester, which can be either winter or summer, depending on when you started, is entirely devoted to the thesis. And for more detailed information, see the downloads section of the program website. Now, we have 2 module modes in the summer semester. Either you have 4 modules of 7.5 credit points each, so 4 modules of equal size, with an integrated project part, a little project in every module you do, because we place great importance on practical training. And then the grades are determined by the written examination and the project, which is also graded, weighting being approximately 70 to 30%. And both parts are relevant for passing a module. The other mode is that you have just the 4 modules with the same content, but you do not have a project part. You choose not to have it. And in that case, they are only worth together 20 credit points. And in the modules then, the grades are determined by the written examination only. But you need a 5th module, a separate module, which is then a larger project, which is worth 10 credit points. Okay. And the timeline is in the summer semester that we have a teaching phase of 10 weeks of teaching, and then a project phase of 5 weeks where you do not have lectures according to timetable, but you concentrate on your projects. Of course, they are supervised by professors. You have to report regularly what you are doing and show your progress and discuss it with the professors. Okay. And then there is an examination phase of 4 weeks, as I already mentioned, at the end of the semester. So that is the summer semester. The modules of the summer semester, here is the list. You also see it on the, of course, on the website. So either you choose 4 out of these 6, and then you get 7.5 credit points for each of them, or 4 out of these 6, they are the same, but without the project part. In that case, you do the additional project with the 10 credit points here in order to obtain the total number of 30 credit points that are necessary. And here are the modules of the winter semester, 3 out of 6. As I said, 3 out of them in this case are in English, the other 3 in German. Okay, so but if you want to do all in English, you just choose these. And then we are offering in our faculty 2 modules of 5 credit points each with non-technical content, but you can choose any modules of master level with non-technical content from other faculties in the university as well, to fulfill this requirement of having here a sum of 10 credit points. And of course, this project here, which is mandatory, okay? And finally, I want to end with a couple of photos from our labs here on the left side, a high voltage experiment in our high voltage lab. We are one of the universities, there are not too many of them in Germany, which still are operating a high voltage lab. For a time, 20 years ago, power engineering was, well, not very much of interest here, and now all of a sudden with the renewable energies and the energy supply, electrical energy being more important, this has become more important again, and we are glad that we are still very active in the power area. On the other end here, we have here a high frequency lab here with, for example, an antenna radiation measurement in a chamber here, which is equipped with tiles here, absorbing tiles, so that they do not reflect the radiation. Here, that's a photo from our automation lab, an automatic assembly line model here, and here a photo from our robotics lab here. So with a couple of students also that you our labs are not all empty. They're also populated by students here. Here, my colleague 𝘱𝘢𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘴𝘪𝘆 is demonstrating something to students with a robot. And I should mention that we are very successful in the Formula Student Electric Contest. Okay, we are building a race car, an electric race car every year, and competing in this European-wide contest. And for example, in 2022, we won the competition in the driverless category, so the competition for driverless cars. Okay, so that's the end of my presentation, and of course
I have as a main speaker Professor Dr. 𝘱𝘢𝘪𝘥𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘴𝘪𝘆, but we also have Laura Busch, who will be equally presenting the study program and also helping you in technical questions in the Q&A or further in the live Q&A. So University Stuttgart, Master Electrical Engineering, Master of Science. Again, some quick facts.
Oh, just a moment. So, okay, so yeah. Once again, a very warm welcome from my side. I have the pleasure to introduce you to one of the leading technical universities in Germany, the University of Stuttgart. So in the next 50 minutes, you will get to know our university. You will learn more about our English conducted master's program, Electrical Engineering, and you will gain insights into the extensive support we offer for our international students. So my name is Laura Busch. I'm International Coordinator at the Faculty for Computer Science, Electrical Engineering and Information Technology. And I'm very happy that I'm not presenting on my own, but together with the Dean of Studies of the Master's Program, Professor Dr. Ingmar Kalfas, who's with us as well. So, but now let's start with some general information about Stuttgart. So the city of Stuttgart, where is it located? So actually we are in the very southwest of Germany, the capital of the region Baden-Württemberg, very close to the borders to France and Switzerland, so very centrally located within Europe. And there are actually many reasons why it's worth to come to Stuttgart. First of all, you can find a very high level of academia and research at our university. But besides this, Stuttgart is a very lively, a very vibrant international city. You can do a lot here, so you can find a high standard of living, but also many leisure activities that are available here, and you can find a safe, secure environment here to combine studies and living and also leisure activities. So and as mentioned before, as you could see on the map, we are centrally located within Europe, so our students take the advantage to travel a lot during their free time and visit Amsterdam, Paris, etc. So there are many things you can do here. But besides this, important to mention is also the high level of innovation and technology that you can find here in the Stuttgart region. So many of the so-called global players, the big international companies, have their headquarters here, but also you can find numerous small and medium-sized companies that form kind of a niche in their field here in the region. And additionally, Baden-Württemberg itself, so the region itself in Stuttgart, they're one of the most, or it's one of the most innovative regions when it comes to the number of patent application, the number of startups, but also expenditure in R&D. So let's give you some details on about our university. So the University of Stuttgart has around 21,000 students. Over 5,000 students are from abroad, so you can find a very international environment at 10 faculty complete. So the university comes with a large number of collaborations, cooperation partners within industry, but also external research institutions. Besides this, there is really a big network of partner universities worldwide. So if you want to do also an exchange semester abroad, additionally to your stay your study abroad here in Germany. This is possible. There's a great variety to choose of. And yeah, the University of Stuttgart is among the top 3 universities in Germany for third-party funding per professorship. So I'm really, something I really would like to highlight here is that we are very well ranked within international rankings. We count with several awards. So as mentioned before, we are one of the leading technical universities, not only in Germany, but also worldwide. We are a member of the TU9 Alliance here in Germany. And just to mention one current ranking is the Times Higher Education World University ranking of this year by subject. We got very good results within the area of engineering and computer science. And since we are presenting our master's program, electrical engineering here, is something I wanted to mention, to highlight. Okay, but now let's dive into the study program itself to give you some more details on the program. And therefore, I would like to hand over to Professor Kalfas.
Yes, thank you, Laura. Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks, Laura. And Laura is a member of our international service point of our faculty, part of the team who is there to actually help and assist our international students whom we welcome to our university. Now, electrical engineering, this field of engineering sciences has a long tradition in Stuttgart. We can claim that we have the first lectureship and one of the first chairs of electrical engineering, and we are coming up to 150 years of electrical engineering at the University of Stuttgart. Now, the Master of Science Electrical Engineering is a 2-year program which covers a very broad range from traditional foundations, theory of electrical engineering and information technology. And of course, it also covers all the applied aspects of this field of science. It is as an fully English-spoken degree program. It is, of course, highly international with students coming from all over the world. And being a highly industrialized region here in Stuttgart, you have excellent job perspective as an electrical engineer. There's a link to a YouTube video which says it maybe in nicer words than we do. So check out this YouTube video and let's go to the next slide. Yes, so here you see the program structure. It's a typical 2-year master degree. It's planned for 4 semesters where you will accumulate 120 credit points within the ECTS, the European Credit Transfer System. Everything will culminate in the master thesis, which is your own individual piece of research thesis worth 30 credits. And to build up to this master thesis, you will you will find a study degree, which I think can be characterized by a lot of choices. You will have a lot of choices when you study electrical engineering here. First of all, you will be able to choose between 1 out of 7 majors. So there are 7 focus areas where you can specialize in. It's your first choice. You will do 36 credits from out of one of these 7 majors. And then you will find the full portfolio of the courses we offer here in our faculty as elective courses for 30 credits. There is an interdisciplinary key qualification. You will run through one of the many offered labs from our faculty. And as a run-up to the master thesis, you will also do a research project, which is, again, an individual R&D work from you individually based on an individually chosen topic worth 15 credits. Let's move on to the next slide, which shows the 7 specialization areas, what we call majors. So I'll run through them. It starts with electrical energy systems, smart information processing, ubiquitous communication systems, nano and optoelectronics, power electronic systems and technologies, smart sensors, and electromagnetics applications. So this is 7 majors under the roof of one study degree, electrical engineering. And we know that many students find their way to us because they are attracted by the rich industrial environment here in the southwest of Germany. So they ask, how can they get connected to industry and to companies during their studies? We know it's an important question. So at the end, I would like to briefly comment on that. You will find many guest lectures that are proposed from our industrial partners, especially in our region here. And these you can take as elective courses. You will participate in R&D projects with our partner companies and meet our project partners in the frame already of your studies. That mostly happens, of course, with the study thesis or the master thesis, which is usually conducted in the frame of our collaborative R&D work. Then we offer field trips, lectures, individual lectures, seminars, and of course, even full-grown scientific conferences at our university. And last not least, it is also possible to perform your study thesis and master thesis in cooperation with the partner companies. They can be in the region of Stuttgart so that you don't have to move places, but you can also find partner companies all over Germany and of course also outside, abroad, even outside of Europe. And I think that concludes the brief introduction to the study degree, and I will hand over back to Laura.
Thanks a lot. Professor Kapers will be available also for questions in the Q&A. So if you have content-related questions, please use the chat. So I would like to say some words on the admission and application process and requirements. So you can apply twice a year. So we have 2 deadlines, January 15 and July 15. Please consider that you always apply 9 months in advance. So it's quite a long time, but so most of our students come from abroad and they need a lot of time also for visa application, etc., etc. So 9 months are, it really takes a lot of time to prepare your stay. So, but please consider this. So you apply in January. If you want to start your studies in October, so winter term, or you apply in July if you want to start your studies the following year in April. So we don't use UniAssist. So at the University of Stuttgart, you apply directly via our own application portal Campus. For the program, as it is a fully, completely taught in English program, you don't need any German skills. However, we always support or try to motivate our students, of course, to start learning German besides the studies, but some more words on this in some minutes. And you need, of course, a very good level of English proven by an official certificate. You find all the information on our study program website, and I also want to highlight the FAQ list that you can find on the website as well. That contains really a lot of information to answer your questions. So you will get the presentation afterwards with all the links that you can use. Some words about fees, financing and housing, because these are very important topics. So in the German Southwest, in Baden-Württemberg, for non-European students, there are tuition fees, 1,500 euro per semester. We use this, or the University of Stuttgart uses this money, for example, to finance German language courses. We try to support our international students with additional support that I'm going to mention in a while as well. The semester fee is like 185 euro per semester, and you can count with housing on campus or in the city for our international students, we do have student dorms, but please take in mind that places are limited. So please apply in advance for the student dorms. And I know also that many of our international students also, don't want to live in a student dorm, but want to really dive into the German way of life by living in a shared private flat in the city with other German students, for example. Yeah, there are scholarships provided by the German Academic Exchange Service by a lot of foundations, but as mentioned before, many of our international students work beside the studies. There are many options to find like a student assistant job at one of the institutes at our faculty, at our university, but also at one of the numerous companies. So this is, of course, a very important aspect. So what do we do at the University of Stuttgart to help our international students? You can find a lot of support here, both on the central level offered by our university's international office, but also at our faculty provided by our international service point. So you can find online information sessions before arrival, a step-by-step overview from acceptance letter to first lecture. So also before actually you apply, you can get a lot of information. You can get in touch with our colleagues at the international office. But once you arrive, there's also orientation and guidance events. There's a welcome day at the international office, buddy and peer mentoring programs, and also regarding your career-related topics, our university offers a lot of measures, a lot of events and activities to prepare our student also for the job market, especially here in Germany, because we know that many of our international students would like to stay some time after the studies or also gain work experience, hands-on experience during their studies. Yeah, and on faculty level, we organize a lot of social events. We create a network so that our students can build their own networks already during their stay here at the university. We offer welcome events, personal counseling and support. So please feel free to reach out to me and my colleagues at the International Service Point. Also after the webinar, in case of questions, if we don't know the answer, we know who you can contact. So we will guide you through the jungle of all the information on the websites and finding online. Yeah, and one thing I would like to highlight here as well are the study-related German language courses at our faculty for international students that are enrolled. At our faculty, we guarantee a spot in our German language courses, because we know that living abroad can be very challenging, and actually to get adapted quickly to the German life here, but also to the academic life, studying in Germany. What does studying in Germany means? German language will be quite helpful. So also regarding the employability, so to get in touch with the companies, to find a student job easily, German language will help you a lot. And that is why we offer German language courses for free for our international students. So, and this is actually the end of our presentation. So on this slide, you can find the contact details of Professor Kalfas and also my own contact details. Please feel free to reach out to us also after the webinar. We are very happy to guide you, to offer you more information regarding our university and our study programs.
Thank you very much, Laura. Thank you very much, Professor Kalfas, for all the details. The FAQ that you mentioned is already in chat, and the program video, Professor, you mentioned is also there. So in case somebody wants to check it there, feel free. I also have to thank all other panelists for being active in Q&A. I only have one open question, which is for Stuttgart, but maybe other speakers, if you have anything to add, could also add, and then we voice some of the questions that were answered, maybe could be generalized. So maybe, I don't know,
Yeah, the chat question is whether it's necessary to speak German for internships. I can speak for the Stuttgart region, but I believe I can speak for probably all regions in Germany that it is an advantage, but it is not necessary. All our companies are very international oriented. They have international employees, usually at least in the large enterprises, right? In the large companies, English is the language, the business language, which is spoken also at the company. You will find maybe small and medium enterprises where, you know, the smaller the enterprise, the more the German. The larger the enterprise, the more widespread the English. But I think beyond professional communication, it's always also important to socialize, to meet people, not just for business, but also, you know, outside of business. And there, no matter in which country you are, you will find that it's beneficial to speak the language of the country. So my recommendation is that you don't need to speak German when you arrive, but you should be open to learn more, to interact, or to meet German colleagues, fellow students, and then you will naturally learn to also communicate in German, and then you will be fine. For internships, you don't need to have German language proficiency. Is my answer. Maybe my colleagues have a different view, but I guess I'm speaking for all of us.
Thank you very much for such a nice answer, and I see everybody agrees. So you covered the whole Germany for all lengths. Okay, there was a question about Laura. You also mentioned about this 1,500 for non-EU, and before you even mentioned it, there was a question which I remember. So Yusuf was mentioning. I remember it was discussed to have no more semester cost for non-EU at your Bundesland. Is it still relevant? So it's not relevant because you still have the cost, but is it kind of reconsidered? It's in answered questions. I don't know how to indicate where it is because it's changing constantly.
I found it.
Well.
Yeah. So
Okay.
there in Baden-Württemberg, there's still the 1,500 euros tuition fee for non-European students at the moment. We don't know what the government, the regional government, will decide next year, but at the moment it is like this. And yeah, plus of course the semester fee that was mentioned before.
Yes, and other Bundesländer don't have this tuition fee. It's only, to my knowledge, the state of Baden-Württemberg. Bavaria has introduced it, but in a different manner. In Baden-Württemberg, we try to make the best out of it by giving back better service and better support to our international students. The international service point and Ms. Busch, Laura here is the best example of what we do with these tuition fees. So you will actually find much improved services for especially our international students. But I cannot change it, and I'm very sorry, but this is a political decision, and there is this tuition fee. All I can say is that there is also you know, possibilities to earn money during your studies. But there's no better way of explaining this. So yes, you have to pay the tuition fees.
Thank you very much. For the University of Kiel, there were a few questions about specializations, how to combine, what their electives, about guidance. I know Professor Schmidt, you already explained the structure, but maybe somebody came a bit late or still has some questions. Could you please once again mention how the specializations work and what is the guidance also from professors?
Yeah, this is not, I didn't explain it well. That's the reason. So I can share a slide that shows the system, and then maybe with one or two examples, I can answer this question. So I hope that I can share again. So now you see here, I mean, a copy out of our rules documents. which is not easy to read, but here you see mainly credit points, like here 15, 15, 5, and so on. In total, we have three terms. Each term has 30 points, so you must come up to 90 at the end. And then you must select, this is the only rules that we have how to select stuff. So there is a group called module group 300, it's the core modules. This is more the basic lectures on stuff that you should actually learn, like advanced signal processing, for example. So some basic knowledge is required if among these core modules, or basics in high frequency technology, or basics in some other stuff. And then we have these advanced or in-depth modules. So for example, if you would like to dig more into the details of something, so this is on top of that. And you should choose 3 lectures out of this first group and 3 out of the second group. And then we say, okay, you must at least do 1 seminar and at least do 1 lab. And then you have here this free choice. So sorry, over here. So this means out of these 2 groups, so 1 additional either lab or a seminar, and 15, so 3 lectures out of this or that group. So this means this is how you should distribute your points. And the last thing is here the thesis. And now the question is, how do you decide? And then you for example come to me and say, I'm interested in power electronics, and then we discuss what are good subjects for you. Or you say, I'm interested in medical signal processing, and then I tell you, well, this is certain options that you might do. It includes mainly lectures from here, but also, for example, in medical stuff, you can also go to the medical faculty and listen to something over there, or to the computer science department or whatever. This is also allowed. And then at the end, you usually make a plan that you say, this is my idea, how I would like to do it. And then I discuss it, whether this makes sense or not. So this is a discussion, an open discussion. And at the end, we say, okay, that's your plan, so let's do it, actually. And I mean, this is now how does the stuff looks like actually here. So for example, this is the module book that you look first of all. So there's, I mean, this is too small to see it, but usually a 2-page description of the contents of a lecture, when it's offered and so on. And then you see there are also links for a website. And so, for example, this is this advanced digital signal processing lecture. And now if I show you then the other page, and this is, I think, for all universities more or less the same. So I stop sharing here, and then you are guided actually with this document to another one, which I can also show you here. 1 second. So this is now, for example, the lecture of the chair, and then you see more or less the same. Plus, for example, you can have a look into the lecture slides, and there's no password or anything. So whatever, if you would like to see what are efficient FIR structures, and then you see here the slides, so you can have a look, is this something that I really like to do? Or you see also all the exercises with the PDFs, you see the MATLAB demos and exam, and sometimes a lot of videos that you can also look about it. And afterwards you say, okay, this might fit for me, and then you choose it, and you do this with, in total, 6 lectures for the program. I hope that this answers the question. Otherwise, I can go on for more details over there.
I think so. I hope so. This answers. If not,
Maybe the one who asked the question can say yes or no in the chat, whether this is okay for him or her.
Yeah, you could also do it, or in case you come up with further questions later, you can also contact. The contact details are again in chat. And maybe the last question for Professor Kopysinski, it was, you already answered about the double degree and some other questions, and there was one that came, I think it was during your presentation, about industry-sponsored projects, and the question was, do students do this during the advanced study phase, and how it's kind of organized? Could you, I see the Felix Heute answered it, but I also, according to time, I think it was during, but it's not related, then we can also delegate. You are muted, Professor. You are muted. We cannot hear you yet. The mic.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Well, I answered the question that in the Q&As that I saw, and there is one more. Kiel offers 90, and should it be? I think that's not for me, is it?
No, it was It came earlier during your presentation time, so I assume it was also to you. And the question was, do students work on industry-sponsored projects during the advanced study phase?
Industry-sponsored projects during the advanced study phase. As I already mentioned, most of our students do their final project in industry. There might also be projects that are related to industry in the later phase. This project, these projects that we have in the curriculum. Yes, that's entirely possible. That this is that there could be input from industry. Yeah.
And the other one was about the double degree. You mentioned that internationals cannot join it.
No, because our partner university will not. I mean, you can always go to, it's Ulster University in Belfast in Northern Ireland, and everybody can go there, but you pay 17,000 pounds sterling per year, okay? But they will not accept anybody through us to study there for free, okay? So that's pretty clear.
Thank you. And the very last question is, Kiel offers its program as 90 credits, but Stuttgart offers as 120 credits. Should it be as only missing credits considered, or is there any significant difference we should consider for our careers?
I don't know, one from Stuttgart can answer or one from Kiel, so
You go first.
Okay, I think the system in Germany is slightly splitted. Some universities have a 6+4 program, so 6 terms during the bachelor and then 4 in the master, and some others have 7+3. I would say that the majority has 6+4. Kiel has this 7+3, and I think at the end it doesn't matter that much. So usually we check what is your background, and if something is missing, you get extra stuff that you have to clear first. And I guess this is more in Kiel and less in Stuttgart, and Augsburg was also 7+3, I think. So at the end, I mean, it doesn't make that much difference, but it means you have to study either 1.5 years or plus extra maybe, or 2 years, sorry.
Yeah, I guess it makes a difference at admission, right? Because as Professor Schmidt said, we check when you apply. So we check what is your bachelor, how many credits did you obtain in your bachelor degree. So it makes a difference on admission, but when you exit, you have the master's degree have the same value. They are identical. It only makes a difference on admission, but not on exit.
But personally, I can add that. I mean, I've also studied very quickly, and at the end, it turned out this was not a good decision afterwards, because when you study, usually you get here heavy jobs or whatever, so you can make your money here in Germany to survive here easily. And afterwards, there comes 40 years of work in a company, maybe. And if this is just 39 years, it doesn't matter at all. So if you study a bit longer, learn more, enjoy the time more, it's at the very end better in my perspective. So
I fully signed.
Okay.
Okay,